So today we're going to be putting together some of the commands that we've learned so far within AutoCAD. I'm going to be putting it towards a project, and the project we're going to be working on is creating a 2D profile of building or your house at home. So I'm going to take you through processes and the steps to do this. Alright, so first we need a 2D profile to go off of or to reference. So many times you may get architecture plan, for example, coming in as like a JPEG or PDF, and that's the only thing that you have. Many times you want to now change this into an AutoCAD 2D drawing, and I'm going to show you how to do this. First, you need to get a 2D building profile. So I found this one here online. I'm going to right click and save it how I usually would save it. And I'm just going to save it in downloads. Now to import my image into AutoCAD, I'm going to go to Insert. So I'm going to go to my Reference section here, and I'm going to click Attach. And now I'm going to click my drawing here. Left click. As you can see, you've got different file types here. Click the drop down and click whatever file type I need to reference. So I'm just going to leave it as all image files. Make sure my object is selected here, and I'm going to click Open. And as you can see, it's got attachment image box that pops up here. You can specify the rotation, for example, the scale, and you can specify the insertion point. I'm just going to leave it ticked on and specify it on screen. Click OK. Now it's asking me for my insertion point. I'm going to type 0, 0, and then press enter. As you can see, it's got the scale, it's got 1 in there already. I'm just going to press enter. I'm going to zoom in. My image has now been placed. And then if I want to now scale up my image, let's say it's got a dim on there, I know the scale, I can then use my scale command to scale it up or down. So I'm going to go to my layer panel here, and I'm just going to make some layers to make my drawing a bit more clearer while I'm working. So I'm going to Now I'm just going to lock my reference drawing that I've made, just so it doesn't move. And now I'm going to select my image, go to my properties, and I'll change the layer from 0 to reference drawing. So in other words, it now won't move, it's locked. And I'm going to double click my drawing to make that my active layer. As you can see, you've got the status symbol here, that's ticked. So everything I do is going to be within that drawing layer now. Okay. And the colour's changed to magenta, so it's just so it's bright and I can see what I'm doing basically. Alright, let's go. Close that down. Right. Home tab, and I'm going to use my Pline command. Type P on my keyboard and left click the option. I've covered this before. So now I'm just going to select my start point, and I'm going to be drawing the front face of my building here. So I'm just going to left click my mouse at the start of this corner here, you can see. Click there, I'm going to drag my mouse upwards, and I'm just going to go around my house. And I'm going to turn on my Orthomode, so I'm basically tracking at 90 degrees now. I'm just going to left click, left click, going to get different angles. Basically tracing, in other words, I'm going around tracing my drawing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it about midway because I want to introduce another command to you. But first I want you to get the basics of how to do it without it. So I'm just going to stop my drawing about midway. And I'm just going to press escape. And I'm going to read out my Pline command and just continue drawing like you would. Now, just so it's a bit clearer, I'm going to just find the midpoint of this line and draw a reference line in the middle. Middle line, so to speak. And I'm just going to continue drawing my house. And I'm just going to copy, type 0 on my keyboard, left click option. Object's already been selected. I'm going to left click my mouse once, bring it upwards, click where I think it's going to approximately to go. As you can see, it's got 0 point stuff. I like to move it by a set distance. It's just a more cleaner way of working within AutoCAD. And then say you have to move something back, you just know, okay, it's by a set distance rather than a random distance like 0.0020, press enter. So it's just moving by a set distance and copying by a set distance, so random ones that you won't be able to work out later on. Just select my object with a left click. I'm going to type CO on my keyboard, left click the option, my mouse down. I'm going to left click and press escape. Move my Pline to the intersection of the two lines. Is just hold down shift, so it allows you to reference any angle that you want to instead of 90-degree segments. Go back and I'm going to trim this drawing to make it suit. Just focus on drawing the lines that I need. That's my main focus right now. But what I want you to start to understand is just the process of creating polylines and how to edit them and how to get to the point where you're confident using them in a sense. So I'm just going to copy this. Shift while I move the mouse so I can reference a different angle instead of degree segments. I'm just going to keep on doing this, just matching up to the existing lines within the drawing. So right now I'm just worried about creating the lines. I don't really care about it exactly matching up. Focus. I'm just trying to focus on getting the lines that I need in AutoCAD. That's all. Okay, something like that. And I'm just going to do the windows, and this is pretty much nearly done. So, put the windows here. You see, there are some quicker ways of working within AutoCAD, but they come later on as you become more advanced and you start to understand how certain commands work and how you can manipulate those commands to you get to a point where you're comfortable using them. So So for example, what I mean is, like, instead of me recreating another line to go here, I can just copy, for example. That's a much quicker way of working, and this saves much more time. And for example, even with this whole drawing, in that, you see how I just left the lines rough, instead of me trying to find the exact measurement where it lines up towards a reference drawing. I can just create it rough, and now I can just use the trim command, TR on my keyboard, and left click option. Now I can just go through and left click my mouse and just drag it. Anything the line comes in contact with, we'll just get rid of. So it's a much quicker way of working, rather than having to be perfect the first time around. And I just come back and edit it as you need. And depending on the situation, most of the times I work like this with an AutoCAD. Instead of me trying to work it out and it all perfect. Within reason, if I can get it perfect first time, then I will. What's the point in going back and editing something when you can just get it right first time? So I'm going to click from the midpoint here and just move over to here. And I've just selected that point, allowing me to reference it. Now I'm just going to move it down in alignment with this one here. There we go. So that. So even stuff like this is just much a quicker way of working, in that, okay, I don't have to recreate and redraw my window again. I can just select it, copy it, and move it down. It's a much quicker way of working. But the key is that you first have to know how to do P-lines first, and first get your first shape. So it's like you go from a beginner stage in that you know your basic commands and how to draw within AutoCAD, and you go from that to more advanced things, and stuff becomes way more easier. But first you have to get the basics, in that, okay, I can use my move command, I can use my Pline command, I can use all these different commands, and then what this does over time, it adds to your knowledge. I've seen people, when they work within AutoCAD, they only know how to use the advanced tools or the shortcuts. They don't know how to draw it from scratch, and you don't really want to be in that situation, because within working within AutoCAD, it's not always perfect, it's not always laid out for you. So, like, to give you a quick example, to create this square here in the middle of this door, I can go to Polyline, select like this, 4, down, 4, and long line, 4 again, and then click like that, and I can press escape. Or, if I was doing the quickest way, I can probably just go to my rectangle command here, or I can type in what you see on my keyboard and press enter. So I can left click. There, and the measurement was 0.004, 0.004, and press enter. As you see, you have another rectangle here. See, it was most likely quicker for me to do a rectangle rather than do a P-line, but what it is you can do it both ways. But in terms of knowledge, your best bet is doing it when starting out is the polyline way, because then you'll be able to create custom shapes. If you only know how to use the rectangle command in AutoCAD, you can't create a custom shape like this, for example. You're going to struggle to create a custom shape like that if you only know how to use a rectangle. And that's what I mean. It allows you to be able to do more because of the knowledge that you have within AutoCAD. Now I've got half my drawing here, and as you can see there's some similarities along my middle line here. What I'm going to do to make it easier for myself, I'm just going to select this, hold down Command to select more, basically select all of this, and all of this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type on the keyboard MI. See, it's got the mirror command here. I'm going to left click that option. I'm going to use my center line. So what this is basically asking me, it's asking me to specify a first point of the mirror line. This is almost like your half point, as I'll show you in a minute. So if I left click my mouse on the center line, drag my mouse down, it kind of reflects off of that point. So you can see I can reflect off here almost, but I want it to be in the center here. I'm going to left click again. Now this is asking me, do I want to erase my source object? So basically it's asking me, do I want to erase this, my first object that I'm mirroring. I'm going to click no, so I'm going to keep it. As you see here, this is a much quicker way of working. As you can see, I've got lower half of my drawing just with one command basically. And now I'm just going to edit what I have existing and make it work over this side as well. So I need to add this dormer, roof bit here, and my chimney. This is an example of what I mean when I say that, okay, you can know how to work within AutoCAD in that you might only be able to know how to mirror, you may not know how to use the Pline command. And that's where it's a problem, in that it's a handy tip to know how to mirror over the other side. It saves a lot of time, but if you only know how to mirror and you don't know how to draw the actual points that you need, then you're going to be in problems, because you're going to have nothing to go off of in the first place. Move this over like this. Up there. Go to my trim command and left click. Just tidy some of the lines there. Now I'm going to create this dormer bit, Pline again, center line. There's no reason why I can't do it again. So in effect I'm only creating half of my dormer, I haven't got to recreate it. Hold my shift to get an angle that's not 90 degrees. Just to show you how I would do it, because I know it's quite common on a lot of drawings. Just something like that. There we go. This over. Like that. Now I'm going to continue creating my cladding lines. Copy this. I'm just going to keep going with this. Like that. And as you see, I'll just copy in by left clicking one by one. This is what I mean in terms of different ways we work within AutoCAD. But first you have to know the harder ways, just in case you need to go back to them, because they are kind of like the fundamentals. So I'm going to select this as a base point. As you can see in my copy command, it's got the array function. After I set my base point, I'm going to hit A and press enter. And now it's asking me to enter a number of items that I want to array. So just guessing, I'm going to type 17 for example. And now it's asking me to specify second point. So as So you see I selected this point here, and now I'm going to drag it down to the second point. So basically in effect I'm just recreating that gap. So it all should be the same. That's done. Now I'm going to press escape. As you see, I've got way too many of these lines here. I'm just going to select them and just delete. And as you can see, it's a much quicker way of copying. It's like so much easier. I'm going to go into my trim command, tidy up these lines. But what I would suggest is knowing how to copy the normal way first, and then we'll see as time goes on you can advance into different ways of doing it. It's going to tidy up these lines. Now I'm going to do the same in the mirroring. So I'm going to do the exact same I've done over the other side. First I'm just going to trim this. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to select my object. I want to erase my source object, I'm going to click none. And this one also. Mirror. Left click back down. No. And the wheel. Get rid of that. Now it's just going to be the chimney. I'm going to Pline. Set my line, drag it upwards, this. Editing lines to suit. Rectangle, and left click my mouse. Again, move this up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm just going to do this. Move it. Put it down. Sure that's from the middle point. Get rid of this right here. Go to my layer. I'm gonna freeze my reference point. And as you can see, this is now a 2D profile of a house. Simple as that. Just through using 5 commands really. Polyline, trim command, rectangle command, mirror command. Give it a try yourself to see. Picks up an image online. Went from there. Try it out yourself. Let me know how it goes. Please let me know in the comment section down below of any CAD related topics you want me to cover moving forward. All the best.